Welcome back, everyone, to Hearthstone for TNO New Order, or whatever you want to call this thing. And this time, we are going to be playing as Southwest Africa, the most glorious Reichskommissariat in the world. I don't know. I kind of find it weird how places in Africa are called Reichskommissariats, just like the places in Eastern Europe. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Anyway. Heil! I love how it just starts and it's like, Heil! Sudwestafrika, firstborn of the Reich's dominions beyond the Mittelmeer. From the Namib's oasis to Angola's jungles do stretch, an eagle perched atop the dark continent, wings unfurled in all their majesty. Bastion of the Luftwaffe, inheritors of one, blah 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 blah. So basically, we are very focused on Air Force. We have a ton of airplanes. We are the old Angola plus Namibia, so the Anglo-Portuguese places that have been taken over by Germany. So that's reality bears nuance and more nuance than can be fit into a propaganda piece. The broad brush strokes are true, of course, like any good bit of misinformation. The Reich has longed for its colonies after the Great War. Obviously, Namibia, or Southwestern Africa, used to be a German colony. So, and it wasn't really like the German identity wasn't really suppressed under South Africa. It was more like incorporated, because this territory, Namibia, used to be part of South Africa. Today, it's obviously an independent country, but it was it only became an independent state after the end of apartheid in like the 1990s. So yeah, that's that. Distinguished pilot and Reichskommissar Wolfgang Schenk, so our glorious leader, has thereafter governed both his home and the erstwhile Portuguese colony of Angola. With a man of his stature and deeds, Germania was certain that the Southwestern Reichskommissariat will flourish for decades to come, and at least at the surface level it has. So that's basically, there's a ton of nice little text that you should probably read. And in the end, Schenk has a bit of an issue. He's got PTSD. So we'll take a look at that in a bit. Anyway, features. Siphon money from the Reich to improve your air fleet or your subjects' lives. Yes, because one of the reasons I find this place to be so interesting is that this guy is actually relatively benevolent, quote unquote. He is basically at this point not really all that into the whole National Socialism and the whole colonial thing. Lead the battle against South Africa from the skies, affirm your loyalty to Germania, or free Angola from its chains. So that's basically the greatest stuff. That's regional info and mod features. Vorwärts! There we go. So there we have a couple of mechanics that reflect essentially our duplicitous nature. So at the beginning, our focus tree is very much focused on just making ourselves stronger. Let's get some research. Thank you so much. Yes, these are interceptors, right? Fighters. Probably should want fighters. Oh, this is way too early. Holy shit. Yeah, I like how 1960, 1970, 1980. It's quite understandable. Oh, give me the range. Yes. Give me the range on the aircraft, the drop tanks, and stealth technology. Love it. How about some helicopters? No, we've already got helicopters. How good. How amazing. Yeah, sure. Could probably do some air doctrine. So we could do air supremacy, air superiority, or air parity. Huh. Yep, some ground support, some extra ground support is going to be great. Anyway, that's that, and this one. So, national focus, the Eagle of Africa. We're going to take a look at that in a bit. What kind of troops do we have? So we have we have 6 Schutztruppe, 1 Waffen-SS, and 1 Fallschirmjägers. It's the good old Fallschirmjägers. So that's that. We have a relatively, you could say, diverse army and free dockyards, so give me some convoys. And okay, so here we go. Back to the decisions. Monetary deliveries, the market. So the market is where we buy resources from Germany. The African airstrip. So although Southwest Africa's economy, let's actually get some time clocking. Although Southwest Africa's economy is the most lacking of the three African Reichskommissariats, mainly due to Reichskommissar Schenk's disinterest in further developing it, Sudwest Africa is not without its sources of income. Thanks to its location and administration, Southwest Africa has become an important staging ground for Luftwaffe airplanes sent on missions across the continent. Be they bombing on African civilians or simply patrols meant to intimidate South Africa. Our positions as the masters of the Afrikaner Luftwaffe grants us a large freedom of action and the possibility to obtain funds through simplified channels compared to other Reichskommissariaten. Okay, so we can pack the runways, send 15 transport plane equipment to Sudwestafrika. Okay, so the central government expects our runways to always be ready to accept their supply and military. Okay, so this will net us $4 million by loaning our transports. Okay, so at least 20 transport planes in stock. We don't really have those. Are we producing transport planes? No, it doesn't look like it. So, yeah. Give me some of that. And there we go, the Reich's last conquest. Space! I will go to the one place that has not been corrupted by the Jews. Space! So that's the Eagle of Africa. Reichskommissar Schenk will join the Air Force as one of its lead fighter pilots. He flies a specially modified Horten 249 jet attack aircraft named Der Knall. He is a genius in ground support while also supporting the fighter pilots with tactics he has mastered over... Okay, so apparently we're playing Ace Combat, I suppose. So we have 40... Oh, hold on. Okay. So we can just, like, do this and pack the runways. Optimize flight schedules. Germany will be slightly disappointed. Okay, so that's how we're getting money. We have $14 million in investment fund. We will have to send $2 million to Germany for each collection period. Cunts. Okay, so we just have to keep that going all the time. Okay, so that's that. The Eagle of Africa, amazing. Air control Sudwestafrika, matter of priority. So that's the whole logistics part. Then we have a part of the focus tree, one man sky. Oh, I see the reference, like no man's sky. So we can build up our transport fleet, build up our fighters, and build up our bombers. Okay. So he's like, oh, he's going insane. Should probably pause and read this, but basically, you know, yeah, like everyone has disappointed him in the Luftwaffe. He needs to take off, basically just to avoid his PTSD. He flies. Okay, so this is definitely feeling quite Ace Combat-y right there. New bomber fleet, a new fighter fleet, a new transport fleet. I see what you mean. A new type of assault, new league of fighters, and bomber plans. Then what about this one? Germany's Southern Airport. Okay, so this is how we get more investment funds. Then we get economics and the Africa Miracle. Okay. So until a few years ago, Sudwestafrika was only a giant airstrip for the Afrikaner Luftwaffe. Now, however, we have managed to assert ourselves as a valid target for investment. Our masters in Germany have been observing our progress with great pleasure and are ready to make a giant investment in the nation. Okay, I see what you mean there. And obviously, soon there's going to be a whatchamacallit, a thing in Southwest Africa, or sorry, in South Africa, that's gonna change the focus stream. Okay. Sudwestafrika Rundfunk AG's first broadcast, obviously. Alright, so that's, I suppose, the beginning. I'll see you all in a little bit when something else is going on. The small village in the middle of the forest is far from the worries of the civilized world. No government officials has ever been seen, not even when the Portuguese used to claim Angola as their own, and the airplanes passing high into the sky are nothing but strange birds. The lives of the people here are simple but peaceful, a never-ending cycle of small things. That is, until the man in black came. The first time they saw the bird landing on the small clearing outside their village, everyone escaped, fearing monsters or demons. But after seeing him, the village elder wisely noted that this man is no demon. The true ones are circling around him, invisible to our human eyes, before ushering everyone back to their huts. Ever since then, the man's visits have been regular, once every couple of months or so. And the people no longer worry when they see him coming near the village. After all, he never enters. He always stays near the trees, crying. That's all he does. He cries, he bawls, he screams. This day is one such day, but something is different. The man in black looks even sadder and suddenly starts banging his head against the tree. However, when a small child wears free from his mother's embrace, running to him as the woman looks in horror, too terrified to move. The baby tugs on the man's shoulders, and the stranger stops his self-harming to look at him, blood dripping from his scratched forehead, as he sees the big, soulful eyes and even more tears coming out of his reddened eyes. But his trembling hand goes briefly to his pocket, and then he runs away again. When the child returns, he has something in his hands, a small metal box with images of fruits, some known, others not, containing small balls, and before his mother can stop him, he puts one of them inside his mouth. The desperation in her eyes turns into a question, as the small boy starts laughing, and in happiness, he says his first word. Sweet! Such a good guy. The report on Shank's desk freezes the blood in his veins. Stated in clear numbers and with all the graphics the people in the Ministry for Colonial Affairs love so much is the certification that Sudwestafrika won't be able to meet its trimestral obligations to the Vaterland. Despite all efforts from Wolfgang's team of professional book adapters, there was simply nothing to do to begin with, and therefore they couldn't make it look like everything was perfect. With trembling hands, he forces his own eyes to keep reading words and numbers that feel like bullets piercing his naked body, a carnage of arithmetics leaving no space for doubts or creative interpretation, and thinks that about the potential consequences of his miscalculations. Of course, he had to squander all that money in the early stages of the project like a fucking genius. Now they'll be furious in Germania. Investors will think twice before spending their money in Sudwestafrika, and the central government will surely start pestering him. They'll want to know where the hell is all the money they sent him gone? How can he answer that question? There's no time to waste. Cut here and there, a few zeros in the right place. Be fucking creative. With a nice paint job, it will all appear to be perfect, won't it? The worst isn't that, however. The Reich will stop being suspicious for real this time. They will no longer accept our books without bothering to check whether our expenses are justified. The ministry will count each and every Reichsmark now, and double-check the papers before granting us our funds. The bastards will send inspectors, maybe even spies. Resisting the urge to rip the papers to shreds and scream, Schenk realizes now that he needs to be careful, so much more than ever. Now he is walking on a thin thread above the bottomless abyss of damnation, and the tiniest mistake will ruin everything. So Germany will be greatly displeased by this. As of right now, Germany is currently extremely displeased with us. So, essentially, we are right now not really, you know, doing all that good with Germany. So because we have to send them money every once in a while, and that money then can be used to buy things, for example. However, it is very, very easy because the way you get money is by pissing off Germany. So it is very, 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 very easy to anger the Germans. Anyway, what we actually need the money for is to basically you know, help the natives, really, because this guy wants to redeem himself, Wolfgang Schenk. Anyway, can we survive Germania's wrath? We shall see, we shall see. So far, I'm liking this campaign quite a bit, but, you know, it's gonna get hopefully better in the near future. So, yeah, that's gonna be the end of this first episode. Thank you all for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.